The spring semester has arrived on campus at DBU, and with that comes the stretch run for the Patriot basketball team, who returned to the Berg Center on Thursday night looking to extend their home win streak to 33 games. Track and field is also back in action, and this week's Patriot Insider spotlights a former All-American standout and current coach at DBU in Kelsey Bruce, who finished as the top American female runner at the Houston Marathon.
Racing against a field that featured over 2,600 runners, Bruce completed the Houston Marathon in 2 hours, 31 minutes, and 53 seconds to earn a 6th place finish, improving upon her performance at the New York City Marathon.
I had ran New York City in November, early November, trained really hard for it. We put in a lot of work, Coach Phillips, training me, and I put in a lot of work running, and it just wasn't really the performance I'd hoped for. I was in really good shape, and I think I was in equivalent shape to what I ran in Houston, but I just didn't perform like a professional athlete needs to, in a sense of I didn't have the right attitude. I had a lot of external factors in my training and in my mindset, like comparing myself to who I was competing against. I mean, I was competing against the best in the world, Molly Huddle, Shalane Flanagan, all those girls, and I was just really big-eyed about what they could do and didn't really focus on the opportunity that I'd been given and how I can kind of go forth with that. And so Houston, I decided I wasn't going to make that mistake again. I was going to go in prepared, I was going to go in joyful, and just thankful of the opportunity that the Lord's given me, because that's really all that matters. And if I don't run well and I was thankful and I honored the Lord through it, then it was worth it. Whereas New York, I ran it and was kind of disappointed in myself, not only in my performance, but in how I stewarded my gift. And so I think Houston, that was a big difference, and it made a huge difference in keeping the Lord in perspective of what I was trying to do.
Indoor track and field returned to action last weekend as DBU traveled to Pittsburgh, Kansas for the Pittsburgh State Invitational. Both the men's and women's teams produced 4 top 20 finishes and will return to Pittsburgh State on February 8th and 9th for their final indoor meet before the Lone Star Conference Indoor Championships. In basketball, the Patriots extended their home win streak at the Berg Center to 33, marking the second longest streak in the nation as DBU defeated Oklahoma Christian 100-87 last Thursday. 6 Patriots scored in double figures, including a team-high 18 from senior J.T. Harris and a huge 12-point performance from freshman Carson Hughes off the bench in the second half. On Saturday, DBU found themselves tied at 50 apiece versus Newman University with just over 11 minutes to play, before eventually falling 77-72. The loss places DBU in a tie with Newman for second place in the Heartland Conference standings and 2 games out of first behind St. Edwards.
This past week's been good for us. We had a really good win at home against Oklahoma Christian, a team that's been playing really well. Had a tough loss on the road at Newman on Saturday against another team, very good team. We're tied for second in the Heartland Conference. We'd love to be in first, but we feel like we're gaining momentum and starting to play better here the second half of the season. Really looking forward to having the Patriot faithful come out and help us out as we try and finish strong going into the second half of the conference play.
As the month of January comes to a close, that means the college baseball season is just around the corner, and DBU returned to the Diamond last week for their first week of spring practices. DBU's alumni pro game will be on Saturday, February 9th, and the Patriots open the season at home on February 15th at Horner Ballpark versus Kent State.
That's all for this week's Patriot Insider. To keep up with all the latest news surrounding the DBU athletic program, you can follow all the action online at dbupatriots.com and through social media on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Also, download the new DBU Athletics app to keep track of your favorite teams. Until next week, for Patriot Insider, I'm Reagan Ratcliffe.